Good evening, this is Winter again, doing another level 20 class video against hard opponents. Trying to find a new area with a boss quest. I'll have to defeat the boss. Don't really want it to be the Ashen Priest, I've done a lot. I'll take the Necromancers. No, I'll take the Mercenary Leader. No, I'll do. Goblins, and I'll have goblins and assassins. Simple, small. That's all fine. I'll quickly cover this ranger before I go in. So I've said it in pretty much every video, but rangers like rogues benefit from the min-maxim of the fewer stats you need to pump the better. For rangers, dex is their defensive and their offensive stats, so it's happy times, although this character hasn't found much in the way of plus dex items. He is range spec, don't be confused by the fact he's currently got two melee weapons equipped. Max search so he can stealth, and max stealth so he can stealth and search at full speed. Since he's a range weapon user, he's got ensnaring armor with a 10% chance anytime he takes damage that the enemy will be immobilized. I completely ignored favoured enemy because much like in 5e it's a worthless ability. That means you're locked out of some of your bonuses for the vast majority of the time where you're not facing a favoured enemy. Do of course have max combat focus, which is amazing because it increases attack speed, long strider, movement speed increase for kiting. Wolf, something to just throw at the enemies and distract them. Again, it's all about keeping at range. Wind wall, keeping their range off you. Bark skin, temporary buff for defense is quite helpful. Cloak of Thorns, every time he's damaged, not only has he got a 10% chance of rooting the enemy, he'll deal piercing damage and deal a 4 extra piercing damage. And of course, if I could find any items that increase piercing damage, if they exist, I'm not sure if they do, then that will be boosted conveniently. Entangle, again, to keep things at range. You'll see in Warden I skipped Hail of Thorns and Lightning Arrow. I went for Swift Quiver. Maxed out for machine gun ability. Here I've got Arrow Sling. I'm a bit dubious about this. Firstly, the cooldown is very long. Secondly, I think a lot of the time gives it as a wind-up animation. It's actually going to be less DPS than your normal attacks will be in the same time frame, particularly as your gear gets better. Hunter's Mark, Huzzah, they can't stealth, 50% extra damage, great ability, really solid. And Split Shot, it's range damage, it's a lot of range damage. That's why I've got it. No other particular reason. I think it'll probably be more useful than Assassin's Mark. So in the interests of time, I'm just going to do a couple of creep packs and then the boss if I can. Yes, and I will switch back to range weapons. So here we go, we've got a shaman and a bunch of archers. This looks absolutely fine, I'm quite happy to do this. So arrow slaying. I want to get rid of this guy first. It's a good time to use that. Split shot. Nice. Bunch of stuff done. You see they're barely hurting. I'll bring out my wolf. I will entangle the ones around me. And move out. So his crossbow is vampiric. You'll see as soon as he starts attacking again, he's doing sufficient damage against these hard enemies to just refill his health bar. So lightning arrow, you see it has this long pause. They did look like he was attacking during it. Hail of Thorns, however, he just pauses to do the attack, which is not good. It's a DPS failure. Did win wall.
Perfect strike! A perfect strike! A perfect strike! A perfect strike!
So I'm guessing from the perfect strike calls he's done a lot of crits. Yeah, I mean look at the criticals. His critical range is pretty solid.
I'd run if I were you.
background wise, I seem to remember I took Urchin for the movement speed
We should probably
and
do
a
something about
dex
this trap.
increase. Wow,
By your leave.
it's annoying. I've got bark skin now, just
I'd
because I
run if
can.
I were you. Yes.
Yeah, I'll drop this guy pretty quick.
Yes.
Right, let me go over here. What? I'm not quite sure what happens there.
There's an odd outline on that wall. I'd run if I were you.
I'll bring out my wolf. The man shouldn't be without his wolf.
Yes. Yes.
So again,
Perfect
damage not
strike.
great. Probably less than the paladin. Almost certainly. Less than the paladin actually, but
Yes.
great enough.
Yes.
And then the wolf.
Impressive.
And there for the trap. Oh, I gotta finish this guy.
I'd run if I were you. That looked like it hurt.
Again, I'm resisting using Swift Quiver because of the long cooldown. If I find the boss fight scene, I will want the long cooldown for
Yes.
that. Successfully gibbed.
Of course.
No real threat. Took a bit of damage from that trap, but not very much.
At your service. At once.
Now all the items will be terrible, because all items are always terrible.
Right away.
Not. This guy has had a particularly great run of loot, if I'm totally honest. I would
How
like to
may
try
I
and
serve?
avoid
What is it you require? They are persistent.
fights, but I've
As
utterly
you wish.
failed, so what I'm going
I'd
to do
run
now
if I were you.
is just gonna keep running and then see if I can restart. So,
A perfect strike.
there's my captain. Okay, well, this may have been a bit of
once. Right away.
a tactical
As you
error.
wish.
Okay,
A
so
perfect
they
strike.
didn't like me doing that. I'm actually going to
I'd
stay
run
in
if
this
I were
game.
you.
So this is completely surrounded. It's hard
A
difficulty.
perfect strike. I'd run if I were you. Impressive. That looked like it hurt. That looked like it hurt. That looked like it hurt.
Doing sufficient damage, but nothing really
strike.
hurts.
Yes. Impressive. A perfect strike. I'd run if I were you. A perfect strike. A perfect
Something
strike.
here? Yeah, 2 clerics healing.
Impressive. I'd run
If I'd been
if I
more
were you.
awake, I would have noticed that earlier.
A perfect strike. Impressive.
Doesn't really matter, as you can see, they're
Impressive.
not hurting the
A
ranger.
perfect strike. That looked like it hurt. I'd run if I were you. I'd run if I were you. A perfect strike. A perfect strike.
The danger area is definitely past, it's just mopping up now.
Yes.
Chook chook chook, machine gun.
That looked like it hurt. A perfect strike. That looked like it hurt. I'd run if I were you.
Couldn't stay in skin poor old wolf in time. I will avenge you, Wolf.
Yes.
I will avenge you. On this goblin.
A perfect strike. I'd run if I were you. Hopefully, this will get my point across. I'd run if I were
So
you.
yeah, I'll try kiting as well.
I can do
Seems eminently doable. Have a look at the speed on this guy.
that. Impressive.
No real need to.
I'd run if I were you. I'd run if I were you. Impressive. Impressive.
I don't like being knocked back,
I'd run if I were
so
you.
I'm going to let the wolf take the knockbacks.
That looked like it hurt.
To a debuff, no point in doing Hail of Thorns, really.
Impressive. Yes. Yes. Yes.
No point doing Lightning Arrow, because they'll... Well, actually it's a good test.
Impressive.
Yeah, it pauses the auto attacks.
A perfect strike. Hopefully this
To
will get my
impressive.
impressive.
Sad, but
A
meaningless
perfect
abilities,
strike.
which are only there really to get to Swift Quill.
An interesting battle.
Oh, Gloves of Haste sound potentially not awful.
Of course.
We'll see. Ah, orange item. Someone's been playing World of Warcraft. Right, that looks very nice as a halberd. Not much use for this character, nor those gloves, despite the fact they are superb. 20% action speed, 15% cool reduction. This character can't use them, and there's no easy way to trade between characters like no shared stash. Anyway, there you go. There you have it. That is the wizard playthrough. No, that's a lie. That was the ranger playthrough. Wizard playthrough